These guys can't keep up with me. I mean, I live the life, I'm eating Built Bars. I'm working out 3-4 times a decade, and it is, I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't overstate it. I mean, 3 to 4 times a decade is a little bit.
Well, I watch some people work out once in a while.
Oh, okay.
Tanya will come home all sweaty. Strangely, not from the gym, which is weird. But anyway, don't give up on your resolution. You can lose weight and you can have a tasty snack while you're doing it that's really good for you. They have 18 different flavors. They have caramel brownie, cookies and cream, peanut butter, mint brownie is unbelievable. And they're covered in 100% chocolate. So don't give up on your resolution. It's Built Bar. That's the answer. Use the promo code BECK. Get 20% off your next order. Try these out. You're going to love them. It is Built Bar. BuiltBar.com. 20% off if you use the promo code BECK. The program all about the bass next.
What you are about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Hey, it's Friday, and we haven't talked about Governor Cuomo and his new deli. Want to see my pickle? Oh my gosh, that is just horrible. We're starting the show off that way? Oh, I am offended. Well, get used to it, because it's Friday. Friday. Like Friday. Friday, Tuesday, Monday. Welcome to it. I'm glad you're here. We have a great show coming up for you in just a second. I want to tell you about Kent. He lives in Arkansas. He had one of those old-timey problems where every time it would rain, he'd be in so much pain that he just wanted to crawl into bed and cry. And that wasn't the worst of it. He never had a day where something didn't hurt, he said. By the time he stumbled onto Relief Factor while listening to this program, Kent, you're a man of good taste. He was awfully close to despairing and saying that, I'm never going to have a good day out of pain ever again. He was skeptical about trying Relief Factor because, he was listening to this show. You're going to take the word of some clown going, yeah, you're going to get out of pain. Just give me $20. Well, first of all, you're not giving it to me. You're giving it to Relief Factor. And $20 will send you a 3-week trial pack. You should know within 3 weeks. If it's not working within 3 weeks, it's not going to work for you. However, 70% of the people who try the trial pack go on to order more because it works for them. ReliefFactor.com. 800-500-8384. I just threw away my wrapper from this morning. I wish I kept it so I could show you. I take it every day. I take it 3 times a day. I have for years. It's ReliefFactor.com. 800-500-8384. It's ReliefFactor.com. Oh, Stu. Where do we begin?
I mean, you happen to mention America's dumbest governor.
Hey! America's dumbest governor. We have that. We also have the press conference from last night.
That's big news.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you know, Glenn?
Yeah.
Think about this. Just think about it for a second.
I'm thinking about it. Okay.
It's possible, not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed, no.
Possible.
That
by July 4th.
Yes.
We could have small outdoor gatherings in this country.
Up.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, I want you to know that because Joe Biden believed in the American system, he believed in, and he was there.
Amen.
He was there saying, we're going to beat this thing, that we're going to have 100 million vaccines in this dark, dark winter where no miracle is coming.
No miracle is coming. Certainly not the fastest ever developed vaccine.
No.
Times 4 or 5, it seems. But that's not a miracle. That's just That's just the Biden administration. The Trump administration came up with, they've actually put Kool-Aid inside of these vials.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was blue Kool-Aid.
I hate those guys.
And they were just injecting Kool-Aid into people. It wasn't doing anything.
That is horrible.
Biden comes in, now it cures coronavirus.
Boom. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Joe Biden wants you to know that miracles can happen. Like, as Stu said, now don't count on this, but like Stu said, on 4th of July, we might be able to have small gatherings in our homes.
Well, no. Outdoor? Picnics. I think that's okay. I wouldn't go indoors.
Really?
If you have to go to the bathroom, just tinkle on the lawns.
Okay. Well, our dogs do it. Are you better than your dog?
No.
No, dogs are people too. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's listen on how cautious we need to be.
Unity is what we do together as fellow Americans.
What?
Because if we don't stay vigilant,
okay, wait a minute.
Conditions change.
Stop. Unity is something we do together as Americans.
Wow, what a powerful...
Now,
this guy is an orator.
He
is just something to be behold.
Not a lot of people, if we could just play the tape back just a bit, I'd like to say to my co-commentator here, I didn't know that unity was a verb, but apparently it is. We're doing unity together today. You know what I mean? Is it a euphemism for something that he likes to do when he's sniffing people's hair? We don't know. But unity is something we do together.
Unity is what we do together.
Stop just a second. Is it unity or is it unity? Unity. It's unity. If you listen to him carefully, I think we're mishearing this. It's not unity, it's udity. Unity.
Like P. Diddy?
Could be.
This is like P. Diddy's older brother?
Let's listen carefully.
Unity is what we do together as fellow Americans.
It's what we do together.
I have the Unity
Because
CD.
if we don't stay vigilant.
Yes.
And the conditions change.
And
we may have to reinstate restrictions to get back on track.
Oh, no.
Please, we don't want to do that again.
Please, we don't want to do that again.
We've made so much progress.
We have in this cold winter.
This is not the time to let up.
No, it's a dark winter. Go ahead.
Just as we were emerging from a dark winter into a hopeful spring and summer, it's not the time to not stick with the rules.
Not the time to not stick with the rules. That means we should stick to the rules. Okay,
that's he's taking the English language and he's just putting it into a blender and pouring it out into everybody's glass. Have a drink.
I never had the super high opinion of Barack Obama as an orator, but after listening to Joe Biden, I'm starting to rethink that. Maybe he was okay.
And I would have talked about unity. Unity is something that we all do together as Americans, because when we're all united, then we could be together. And so we're doing that together.
What the hell does that even mean?
They said they had been working on this speech for a week. It had been tweaked and reformed and everything for an entire week. This is not good.
You know, one of these days I'm going to get an IBM Selectric, because then when I make a mistake, I can just hit the little thing and it pulls that right off the page. And but we're still using the old Corona typewriter to make these unities. Speech is unity. I meant unity, but I didn't have the IBM Selectric, so now I just wrote unity.
Well, I'm excited because the hope of spring and, 4th of July into summer, that hope of summer where we could possibly, maybe, gather with a few friends in our backyard. I got news for you. I'm going to be surrounded by thousands of people on 4th of July because that's what we do as Americans. In fact, that's what I did last 4th of July. Yeah.
What? You bastard.
Yeah. We were doing it together, the whole unity thing.
Unity?
Unity.
You did unity with 1,000 people? That sounds dangerous.
We stand.
Sounds like you're exposing yourself to different diseases if you do unity with 1,000 people.
1,000 people. It was great. It was great. Now, he wants you to know he's there for us. Here's cut 2, please.
In the coming weeks, we will issue further guidance
yeah,
on what you can and cannot do once fully vaccinated.
Stop for just a second. I've never heard those words from the President of the United States before. Have you? I am going to issue further guidelines on what you can and cannot do. Search your memory bank. Have you ever heard the President of the United States say that to you? I will issue further guidelines on what you can and cannot do.
It's a total remake of the way our country works.
Especially the presidency. We now have somebody who is taking full charge and telling us, the American people, what we can and cannot do. No, you don't have
power to do that.
No power to do that. No power under the Constitution to do that. You cannot do it. That's the problem with Gavin Newsom. He accepted the power to do that. That's the problem with Governor Whitmer. Notice they're both under recalls. And the third one that believed that he had the power to tell you what to do and not to do, well, he was a little handsy. Hey! What am I saying here about our good friend, Governor Cuomo, huh? Come on. All you have to do is this, otherwise you sleep with the fishes. That's all I'm saying. So that is the President of the United States saying something I've never heard before. If you've ever heard that from a president, please let me know. I can't recall it. Listen again.
In the coming weeks, we will issue further guidance on what you can and cannot do once fully vaccinated.
Wow, thank you. So you can't do anything if you're not fully vaccinated. He's only giving you some things you can do if you are fully vaccinated, which is thank you for that.
Yeah. Screw you. And I would have said that to Donald Trump. I would have said that to anybody who said that to me. Yeah. I'm an American citizen. Screw you.
I'm pretty sure the words "screw you" are in the Constitution to any president who would say that. If you look in the Constitution, maybe it's on the back, but it says if the president tells you what to do, say "screw you."
I do believe that's what the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution really, if you're reading between the lines, that's what it is.
Yeah. Hey, King, you kept telling us to do stuff. Yeah, screw you. That's basically the Declaration of Independence.
It is, you are not going to be under the thumb of some dictator, of some king, of some ruling class. No. This Constitution was written to protect the American people and their rights. And we have loaned you some of our rights. This is the most important thing about the Constitution. Once you understand this and you understand the difference between America and the rest of the world, everything becomes really simple. You are given every right. You have all of the rights
to do anything.
That you have a right to do. I don't have a right because of nature and nature's God. I don't have a right to kill you.
Right.
Okay. But all of the rights that I have to protect myself, to speak freely, to go hang out with who I want to hang out with, to start a business, to pursue my happiness, those are all God-given rights. We take some of those rights and we lend them to the government so they can protect those rights and do the things that we don't have time to do. Okay? We have the rights and we can take those rights away from them. And you cannot assign rights that you as an individual don't have. So the president can't say, you know what? You have the right now to go outside. No, I have that right to pursue my happiness and go outside. He does not have the right to say that. Because I don't have the right to say that. I don't have the right to say to everybody, by the way, you're all staying indoors now. Now, if there is something, a real emergency, you have some emergency rights for a limited time. But that's not the way we're playing ball now. You have to understand, you have the right. And when the government becomes hostile to those rights, you are required by the Declaration of Independence to stand up and take those rights back. Demand that those rights are returned or secured. We think now, for some reason or another, because we have not learned any kind of civics, we haven't learned anything about our own country and constitution. We just think that the government can just make up rights. When Nancy Pelosi said, we've given the people the right to health care. Who do you think you are, God? Because only one that can manufacture rights, and he's done all of that. So, he's done that a long time ago, is God. So now you're making rights up? And you're telling me what I have to do? I will be further issuing further guidelines on what you can and cannot do. Sorry, you're not a king. No. All right, we're going to get into some of the other news of the day, and Bill O'Reilly is coming up today, so that's exciting news as well.
We're only 5 months away from this outdoor gathering in small groups, and you're getting all negative. I know. It's just another 5 months.
I know.
Sit back, relax. All right, have you watched Netflix yet in the past year? Has there been anything maybe on television you could watch? Because you only need 5 more months, and then we can gather in small groups in our backyard.
I do believe they said it was only 15 months to flatten the curve. That's all they needed.
That was 15, I remember.
Yeah, it was 15 months.
15 something.
And it's going to be about 18 months to flatten the curve.
There were a couple of months off.
And don't become less vigilant. You've got to make sure that you are on guard for those nasty invisible viruses that are going around. You might have one now. Are you trying to kill Grandma? All right, our sponsor this half hour is Hustler Turf. Slowly but surely, at least in some states, it's starting to be okay again to go out and do business. Yes, believe it or not, it's going to be okay. Open your front door. I don't know. I'm so afraid of people. The weather is warming up. Kind of feels like it's time to get out, but only in your backyard with a small group of friends. Or, may I suggest, at a Hustler dealer. The Hustler Turf dealer just around you is waiting for you to drop on by and check out the new lawnmowers that they have. These are zero-turn lawnmowers. They're going to cut your time of mowing your lawn probably in about half. They are rock solid. These are the people that invented the zero-turn lawnmower about, 50 years ago. Now everybody's like, have you seen these zero-turn? Yeah, 50 years ago from Hustler Turf. So they are the ones who really have it down. They've done all of the testing on it, back in the 1960s. So they've got it down, and they build these things for industrial use usually. Now they've made them for your lawn, and there is a huge difference. Go ahead, go to Home Depot and test drive all of the lawnmowers out there, and then find your Hustler Turf dealer and test drive that. I guarantee you, if you've tried everybody else, you go then to Hustler Turf, you're going to end up with a Hustler Turf because they are fantastic machines. HustlerTurf.com. That's HustlerTurf.com. 10 seconds, station ID. Man. Whew. So if you're part of the 9.2% of Americans who have received both doses of the vaccine so far, you are ready to go out and party like it's $17.99. You can go out and do just an awful lot of stuff. And those stimulus checks, they are not going to spend themselves. So you go out, 9.2% of you. You feel free to go out and, not hit the disco floor or paint the town red. But social distance, maybe you can spend that check somewhere in your backyard in July. It's a slow roll. CDC has said not so fast. You can gather in small groups indoors in private homes without precautions now, if you're part of the 9.2%, except for Andrew Cuomo. He shouldn't be in any small group or, left alone with anyone at this time. But the benevolent CDC has good news for grandparents. You are now allowed to see your children and your grandchildren. And I want to thank the United States government for giving us that permission to see our relatives. You can even visit with them now indoors, even if you haven't been vaccinated, unless you're Joe Biden or Andrew Cuomo. I just don't think that's a good idea, especially Joe Biden. Don't leave him alone with the children. You will come in and if they have long hair, their hair will be deep into his sinuses. And I don't know what's going on, but...
Was I the only one who looked at the speech last night and looked at the CDC guidance and thought to myself, does anyone want to tell them? Like, we've been doing this stuff already. Like, this is... what do you mean we can meet in a small group outdoors, or we can... Like, when we're fully vaccinated. Again, we've been trying to take some precautions, but we've been...
No, those are speakeasies. We don't talk about that.
You listen to these people in New York and LA doing these like podcasts and stuff. And they're like, we soon will be able to hug each other. It's like, first of all, hugging overrated. But second of all, that's just general. Second of all, like, you know, for certainly Andrew Cuomo's been doing a lot of hugging already. But like, really? Like, you haven't hugged? Again, I understand that you should be careful in certain circumstances, and I think people have, but there's never been a time that I know of in American history, at least recently, where we are living in two separate countries.
We are.
People in New York and LA have no concept how the rest of the world, the rest of the country is living, which is, you know, we're doing a lot more stuff outside. Maybe, you know, we're staying away from maybe our elderly or vulnerable grandparents a little more often. Yeah. You're being careful, but like the world since what, Glenn? Last fall, late summer of last year, where really Texas has been basically open.
I will tell you, I went up to Idaho in spring of last year, and they were wide open for business. They were just like, there's something going on? Really? We don't have a problem with it here.
We haven't got that news yet.
I mean, it's fascinating to me, living in Texas, to see people when they first get on the plane and they get off and they're like, I don't know if I can... Am I going to live? Am I going to survive? And you're like, what are you talking about? The virus, man. Oh, good God, you're still talking about the virus? Relax.
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, it's still a thing. We still have people dying from it. I mean, it's not over, but we are at the May 1st deadline. Is the only interesting thing he said last night, which is the last excuse you have to have any of these restrictions on is if you can get a vaccine. Is it available?
No, wait. CDC said vaccinated people have to wear masks in public and maintain social distance.
No.
And I want you to know, if Andrew Cuomo invites you to a mask-wearing party, it's probably not the kind of party that you're used to.
Hell no.
Watch Eyes Wide Shut first, and then consider it.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
American Financing, NMLS 182334, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Uncertainty is at the top of everybody's list of things to worry about these days, economic uncertainty in particular. If you're the sort of person who is fiscally responsible, you should probably long ago got into the practice of saving back, money here and there wherever you can. You probably don't buy things outside of your means. You probably look for good deals on everything. If that's the case, you should be looking at a lower monthly mortgage payment by refinancing it at a lower percentage rate. And especially if you didn't have to reset the car loan or the house loan to do it. If you didn't have to reset your mortgage, that's the thing. I mean, people have it, I've got 10 years left. I've got 5 years left, even 15 years left. I don't want to reset it to 30 years. You don't have to. Get the peace of mind that you will have when you get the lowest possible interest rate for your credit cards if you fold them into your mortgage without resetting your loan, and the lowest interest rate on your loan, whether you're buying new or you want to refi. AmericanFinancing.net. AmericanFinancing.net.
Head over to blazetv.com/Glenn. The promo code is Glenn. You'll save $10 off your subscription to Blaze TV. Coming up later today, Bill O'Reilly.
Hello, America. It's Friday. We're glad you're listening. Pat Gray is joining us from the podcast Pat Gray Unleashed. Pat, I want to play cut number 2, please. And I want to ask you if you have ever heard the President of the United States, any president, utter these words.
In the coming weeks, We will issue further guidance on what you can and cannot do once fully vaccinated.
Have you?
I have not ever heard that before.
Because what's funny is...
You're going to tell me what I can and cannot do after I'm vaccinated.
See, just a short while ago, about 250 years ago, we issued some guidelines on what they can and cannot do. And one of those, I'm pretty sure, is saying things like that.
Yes. Yes. I loved the whole speech last night. Because,
It was
we got
stirring.
We got some permission to be free. Well, maybe you might be able to be free. We were told we may get permission if we act the way we're supposed to act. If we behave ourselves and we wash behind our ears and we eat all our vegetables and we wash our hands, then maybe we can have a couple of people come to our house on the 4th of July for a barbecue.
Maybe. So
but maybe
it's
not.
It's really like telling your little kid exactly what Pat just said. If you behave yourself, when we leave here, we could stop and get some ice cream.
We'll see, but it depends on how you act.
Right.
That's exactly what he did last night.
I know.
It depends
nuts.
on if we can't allow your backyard barbecue. It's going to be your fault because you didn't do the things I told you to do.
I am so close to just announcing the largest backyard barbecue.
I know. I
mean,
want to have 1,500 people in my backyard.
I am serious. I might just invite everybody to my ranch for a backyard barbecue this 4th of July.
Should do it.
Because I am. Should I?
Should do it. Should do it.
Your house, not ours, but your house.
I mean, I'm really close to doing it because, I mean, it won't be anything. We'll do some fireworks and we'll, have some burgers and whatever. And you just come and we're just going to have a big, huge, frickin' backyard barbecue with just a few friends.
Do me a favor, do it on July 3rd, though, because I just want it to be one day before he says it's okay. That's all. That's all I want. That's Saturday, too. Saturday's July 3rd. Sunday, July 4th.
You know what? Stay tuned. I might do it. I can't take it.
Does it depend on how the listeners act? Does it depend on that?
Well, if
they
behave,
their P's and Q's.
If they behave, if you behave, listeners, we might allow you to come to my backyard barbecue. And I have 1,000 acres in my backyard. So a few friends could gather.
Yeah, we won't see each other, but we'll all be there.
All right. Pat, did you notice that we also now have a Pentagon going after Tucker Carlson?
That pisses me off. Many things do, but that's amazing.
You don't have your Pentagon taking on political issues.
Or private citizens like that.
Private citizens.
What business do you have of commenting on what Tucker Carlson did on his show?
The military protects all Americans.
Right.
And the military is not for internal politics, but external politics. And we are quickly turning our military into a political force. It is extraordinarily dangerous. And I urge anyone in the Pentagon that understands that to stand up. You cannot be quiet about it. You must stand up. I know there are people there that are like, if I say something, then I'm out, and it'll all be these radicals in there. You must stand up. People who are seeing things happening in their own communities, in your own churches or your own schools, you must stand up now, because this thing is growing out of control.
In order to get outraged over this, too, you have to ignore his ultimate point there. The point was, what are the priorities of the U.S. military?
Right.
Are the priorities designing maternity wear for Air Force pilots, or are they making sure that we're combat ready just in case?
My dad couldn't join the Marines because he had flat feet. Now, why couldn't you serve in World War II if you had flat feet? Because your feet would hurt if you were marching a long way. Okay, if you had flat feet,
that was really the issue.
Yeah, your
feet
would hurt, and you may not be able to accomplish all that you had to accomplish because you were going to be marching a lot. You were going to be climbing hills and marching across Europe. Wait, so my dad couldn't join the Marines because he had flat feet, but somebody who's pregnant can be in our... I mean, does anyone think that's a good idea?
Haven't we been told for the past several decades that, like, the worst thing you can do is not stand up when there's a pregnant woman on, like, the subway? You're supposed to stand up and let them sit down. If you're on a train, you stand up and give them the seat, right?
Hey, don't treat them any different. Toots likes it. So what? They get a little pregnant. They take care of that. You know what I'm saying?
It's like we don't want pregnant women to be killed.
No.
Is that a bad instinct? I feel,
babies.
Yeah, and women and the babies. Like we'd like them both to live. I know this is crazy and controversial in the society, but we want the children to live and the mothers to live.
I mean, imagine if you are captured and you're a woman. You know you're going to get worse treatment. And I'm sorry, but it is in men, and it should be, and we should never squash this in men. It is in men to protect women and children first, and never, ever allow anyone to squash that. So somebody is on your team and they're a woman and they're captured. It is in men to just want to go and focus to save them, to make sure they're not captured because they know they know what's going to happen to that individual. If they're pregnant, can you imagine what they could do to the woman using the child? Are we insane? We're insane.
A woman can't even, they're not even supposed to eat really spicy food, but they can fly sorties over Afghanistan when they're pregnant.
It's no sushi.
It doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't really work.
Yeah, sure, dodge some bullets. Again, that doesn't mean that they're trying to like conflate these two issues where like if a woman who's working in the military should not like lose her job because she got pregnant. No one is saying that.
Right.
But like to take someone who's pregnant, who again, like we do everything we can to try to help because we know they're doing something great for the species, and also it's very difficult. So we do what we can to move them out of the most physically demanding roles.
Could we just boil it down? They're talking about body armor for pregnant women. Okay, that's what we're talking about. It's not like talking about, hey, even the planes. I want to fly. Well, can you fit between you and the yoke of the plane? Okay, if you're that pregnant, we're not going to redesign the planes. But if you're fine, I don't have a problem. We're talking about the entire military. When they start saying, well, we need bigger body armor, excuse me? Excuse me? No, no.
We really shouldn't be putting pregnant women in the place where they could get shot.
Did I miss it? Are we now using women on the front line? Because yes, women could be in the military, but they were never front line up until.
I think
is that
changed.
Over now?
Yeah, I think that changed. If somebody from the military call, I think that is changed.
So it's changed so much to the fact that now not only can they be at the front line, but they can be on the front line if they're pregnant. You got a 6-month pregnant woman on the front lines?
Jason Buttrill, who is our chief researcher and writer for the Glenn Beck TV program, he was in the service, and he said at 9/11, when he was in Afghanistan, the biggest thing that they had to worry about, he said, really, honestly, the only thing we were talking about was how many pregnant women were part of the force, and how do we deal with all of these pregnant women?
Wow, really?
Yeah. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So we're a little out of control. The Pentagon should not be involved in politics at all. What they're doing is they're politicizing the military. Does anyone who is a Democrat see how dangerous that is? You can say whatever you want about Donald Trump. You can say whatever you want about Ronald Reagan. But they did not politicize, and the Pentagon officials never would have allowed it. They must stay neutral. That's why when they're doing purity tests, And they're saying if anybody was online and they were supporting anything that had to do with Donald Trump losing the election because of, shenanigans of any sort, that was too politically involved. They are now going after Tucker Carlson. I went through this when I was in Tucker Carlson's position. I went through this. They perfected it on me. Well, it's been 10 years. They have every lever of power. I had 5 people in the White House, 5 White House officials go after me personally and use organizations to come after me, my job, my business, my family. 5. That had never happened before. But that's a political station, the White House. We just never had done it. But Obama started it, so why not? This is the military. You cannot allow the military to be politicized. Not for the left, not for the right. It cannot happen. If it does, you have stormtroopers. I don't care whose side it's on. You now have a force to enforce everything or anything one political party or the other wants.
And you know who used to agree with that? The military.
Yeah, military.
The military used to agree with that. Now they're just participating in it.
Yeah. By the way,
amazing.
So this has started coming back to me.
Wait. I can't let that slide. The generals for the National Guard said they wanted to get out of D.C.
Yes.
They said there's no reason for us. We need to go home. And then it was the higher ups. So it's not all the military.
Right.
So this kind of coming back to me, I think it will with you guys as well. 2015, there was a 1988 rule that made it so women couldn't do a lot of roles in the military. That was lifted in 1994. At that point, it got up to they could do about 90% of the jobs in the military, but not frontline combat.
That's what I thought.
In 2015, Barack Obama issued, and the military as well, issued a statement that they could do all roles now. So they are up to 100%. Wow. Now, I don't know how common it is. Wow. I mean, but pregnant women is... to me, it's a totally different situation. But just from a physically demanding thing, it's very difficult. Mm-hmm. It's a heck of a burden, right? To carry another human being inside of you for 9 months.
The most important thing anyone can do. It's the most important thing and the most significant thing anyone can do. And I have no problem with women fighting. I have no problem with that. You want to do that? Some women are built for that. Some guys are built for that. Not
Gina Carano kicked a lot of people's asses.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. If you're actually fighting for your children, don't ever get between a mom and her. They're more fierce than men ever are. So I have no problem with that. Let's just not put pregnant women in the line of fire. It's bad for a bazillion reasons.
The left has already done a lot of effort to try to kill the babies over the years.
Yeah.
Can we keep the mothers alive at least?
This is the latest effort. All right, let me tell you about MyPillow. Say goodnight to the bad night's sleep. Mike Lindell has been a champion in the war against a bad night's sleep. Did he say war? Yeah, make your night better. I have a MyPillow, which you fluff once, and then you're done for the night. It's truly amazing. You don't toss and turn and refluff your pillow all night. You can get the Giza Dream Sheets, which I have. The softest Egyptian cotton. They get softer the more you sleep on them. Then they have the mattress topper. It guarantees you the most restful, deep healing sleep of your life. It's made of 3 layers. It provides superior support, evenly distribute the body weight, and regulate temperature throughout the night. The mattress topper turns an even uncomfortable bed into a comfortable one. You can get 30% off the mattress topper now, plus 2 standard MyPillows at one great bundle. It's a great deal right now if you use the promo code Beck at MyPillow.com. Now, you can call them at 800-966-3117, 800-966-3117, or go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Beck. 60-day money-back guarantee. MyPillow.com, promo code Beck. Let's go to Virginia in North Carolina. Hello, Virginia.
Hi.
Hi. You watched the Biden speech last night. What were your thoughts?
I'm I'm crazed by it. I am so mad.
Well,
who in the world does this man think that he is? Has he forgotten that thing he tried to tell us about?
What thing he tried to tell us about? I don't understand.
Remember when he was talking about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the this and the that, and he said, "Oh, you know that thing."
Oh, that thing. Yeah, I know that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're having a problem that he's trying to tell people what they can and cannot do with further guidelines on July 4th?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
While he's letting thousands of people come in here, not knowing if they have COVID or not.
Yeah.
And we have to stay home and wear a mask and can't have a party or anything?
Yeah, well, I will tell you that a lot of people have been tested as they come across the border, and even if they did have COVID, they're released into the population here in Texas, which I think is wonderful, and thanks to the federal government for making that happen. Virginia, thank you so much for your call. I have to tell you, I'm going to call my wife in the break. I want to ask her. I think we should have everybody at my house just for a little backyard barbecue.
I love this idea.
Yeah, just a little backyard barbecue at my house.
What do you mean everybody? You mean like everybody at the company or everybody?
No, just anybody who's part of our listening audience. You know, the friends that we have in the listening audience.
Anyone in America?
Just anyone in America can come by. Now, we have a strict policy. You can do what you want. Mask, no mask. Distance, don't distance. But we leave that entirely up to you. So I'm calling my wife during the break.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Hello, America. It's Friday, and Bill O'Reilly is next.
The Glenn Beck Program.
So, you know what's great about mask season? Everything. Oh, my gosh.
Everything.
So much.
I love that. Hey. Mm-hmm. The president spoke last night, and he said, there's 4th of July and masks.
Yes.
And I thought it was really good when he said that.
Yeah, that was a very highly relevant part of the speech, I thought. The good thing about wearing masks all the time is you get a little maskne. Mask acne.
Really?
Yeah, and that is something you're going to love.
No one in Texas has. No one in Florida really has.
Not really common, no. We're talking about dry, irritated, red, blotchy skin. We don't want that. Chamonix is around for you, though. One step ahead of the things that go after your skin. Their Zotique Deep Correcting Serum is a good example of this. They have powerful technology to deliver the healing, rejuvenating powers of vitamin C to the deepest layers of your skin for results you can really see.
And they want you to know they will not make your skin normal. Because normal skin doesn't exist. It'll be better.
Chamonix
It'll be better.
Well, you know what? They would say that, I'm sure.
Yeah, see?
But I don't think they're afraid of the word normal at Chamonix.
Terrified.
If you're having these issues, Chamonix got you covered. You get the Zotique Deep Correcting Serum free when you order Genucel for bags and puffiness. Call 800-577-8709 or go to Genucel.com. It's GENUCEL.com. They're going to help you get that smoother skin back. You can order today and get the Genucel jawline treatment and the luxurious Genucel anti-wrinkle moisturizer free with your order. Every order is upgraded to free priority shipping, so don't wait. Order now, 800-577-8709 or Genucel.com. It's 800-577-8709 or GENUCEL.
Some 4th of July and masks.
.com.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, live, fresh off his world tour, Mr. Bill O'Reilly. Hello, Bill. How are you?
As Kenny Loggins once said, I'm all right. Nobody worry about me.
Okay, that's good to hear. Bill O'Reilly, the author of the new book, Killing the Mob, which I still have not received from Bill. I would read the book, Bill, if you would just send it to me in advance.
Beck. Now, I know you got it, Beck. I put a private detective on it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you? I haven't received the book. I haven't received the book.
Yes, you have. And if you were a Catholic guy, you'd be in a lot of trouble.
I'm not Catholic, and
for a day and a half.
I wonder about these Catholics that continue to say, I've sent the book, and then not send the book. I really worry about them. God's
you
pissed
have
at
the
them.
book, Beck, and God is displeased with you.
So, Bill, I want to start with the big news that you think is the big news of the week, but I'm sorry. I'm going to hijack that and say, what did you think about the performance of the president last night?
I thought it was okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I was all right. I tweeted at Bill O'Reilly if you want to get on the tweet ban.
I was there.
He read the prompter all right. His energy level was okay. He made one big mistake, and that was not crediting the Trump administration for developing the vaccine.
No. He didn't just not credit. He took credit. Remember the guy who said there's no miracles coming? There's no hope. The dark winter.
Joe doesn't remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he said, last night at dinner. But he can read the prompter, and he did. But when you're going to say, "Oh, we're the greatest country in the world," "Oh, nobody else developed the vaccine," "Yay, we're the best," and then you don't even credit your predecessor for developing the vaccine, doing the strategic thinking and the execution to get it, you come across as petty and small. But again, the big thing that you have to take away from Joe Biden is that he can do certain things. He can read the teleprompter.
He can put a log on the fire at the White House. I read that story in the Washington Post.
He might be able to put the log on the fire.
He likes to do that.
Probably has people doing that for him. But he cannot, in my opinion, humble opinion, he cannot process what
is going on
happens when he signs a piece of paper. When he tells Homeland Security, don't arrest anybody. Don't arrest anybody in the country illegally. So when he does that, he doesn't know, in my opinion, I could be wrong, how this will affect the country.
Now,
he doesn't think it through because he cannot do that at this point.
Joe Biden, so what you're saying is the Joe Biden of 12 years ago would not have been doing the things that he's doing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and the Joe Biden of 12 years ago wasn't exactly a Mensa project.
Right.
All right? I mean,
okay, yes.
We're talking a guy in the maybe middle of his class.
Okay. All right. Bill, I have to ask you, have you ever heard, please play cut 2, have you ever heard the President of the United States, any president, say this to the American people?
In the coming weeks, we will issue further guidance on what you can and cannot do once fully vaccinated.
So what you can and cannot do.
Sure. That's the whole thing. That was the best line, and I applaud you and your producers for pulling that cut. That's the whole progressive philosophy.
Right. Have you heard a president say that before?
I think James Buchanan said it once when he had the sniffles.
I mean, I'm not even sure FDR said that, but that's the kind of government that they are.
That's the kind of government the progressive left wants. We're going to tell you what you can do, what you can have, what kind of bank account, then you can't go over it because we're going to take it. But again, do you believe that Joe Biden knew the implications of what he said there?
No.
Absolutely. And this is the key story of the week, of the year, of the decade. We have a president who doesn't understand the implications of what he is doing.
All right. So, but the people around him do.
Of course. That's why he's there. That's why the progressive machine put him there. Because they knew there would be no pushback on their vision of a totalitarian country. You'll never hear Joe Biden push back against the cancel culture, ever. You'll never hear him push back about the wealth tax. You're just not going to hear this kind of thing. He's going to do what he is told to do.
I spoke to Richard Grenell, former DNI director of national intelligence. He was also the ambassador, the ambassador to Germany. He was a big deal, and he's the guy who released a lot of the information after Trump lost the election. And the last thing he did as he left office was declassify a lot of the stuff that happened during the impeachment to show the American people this was a setup. I asked him yesterday if he can recall the president ever, any president. He worked for Bush and he worked for Trump. If he recalls any world leader having to deal with the vice president instead of getting the call from the president. Now, and I made it clear, the vice president does do work with world leaders, but not your first call, not your, hey, I want to congratulate you and let's just talk about an opening salvo. It always goes to the president. When I asked him about the vice president taking over a lot of those duties and what it meant, he said it makes him very fearful for what is happening actually in the Oval Office and the ability of the president. And he said it sends a very confusing message to our allies who know Joe Biden, have talked to Joe Biden as a senator, as a vice president. Now I can't get him on the phone. Why?
Because he's at the hardware store.
Which is where he hangs out.
On Tuesday, the only event on Joe Biden's calendar was a trip to a hardware store in D.C., okay? And he arrived 2 hours late. And he went there to talk about COVID and the impact on the store. That was it. Anything else on his calendar? On Wednesday, he met, and he referenced this last night, with Merck and J&J CEOs. Okay, met with them. That was it. Anything else? So not only can he not talk to the leaders in Luxembourg, but he can't hold a press conference. And he can't go out and start to get Michelle Obama's garden in shape. He can't do anything because he is 78, and he's an elderly 78. He's not like Tom Brady, who's going to be 78 and still playing. All right? He's not. He's just there. And there was a movie starring Peter Sellers. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, Being There.
Yeah. But in the sequel starring Joe Biden is not being there. That's the name of the film.
Tell me the significance of no press conference 50 days in for the president.
Well, it's 52 now, Beck. And on BillO'Reilly.com, we always take an accurate look at everything. It's 52. And the last 100 years, there's never been a president that avoided the press for more than 33 days.
Who was that? Who was that?
I think that was I don't know off the top of my head.
I thought you were being accurate.
I should. Well, that's why I'm not guessing. Because then I might be inaccurate.
Well,
okay, but
from the same guy who said he sent me the book, and I still do not have Killing the Mob. I still don't have it.
You're going to hell, Beck.
All right.
I'm telling you. And there'll be plenty of copies of my book down there, so you'll have plenty of reading time. Okay. So it might have been Obama, because I did report this, might have been Obama 33 days. But anyway, so if you were the chief of staff, Klain, and Ron Klain, he's another guy. Nobody knows who he is. You don't really get a lot of picture of him. He's just kind of there. And if you were Susan Rice, the top domestic advisor to Joe Biden, if you were these two people, would you put your guy up, even though the press corps is friendly, even though they don't want to see him not do well? They were so humiliated by the way they treated Trump, and they were, that they have to kind of ask a tough question. You see that on CNN, all right? They have to get one. They're not going to follow up, but they got to kind of get one in. So, Mr. Biden, with all due respect to the office of the presidency, which I've always respected.
Me too.
Mr. Biden simply doesn't want to do it, and his people know, the upside here is kind of zero. We know that he's not going to be able to get through this unless George Stephanopoulos. They might go to George. George is such a tough hombre,
I know
right?
he is, yeah.
Yeah. And so unless it's Stephanopoulos or maybe Anderson Cooper. I mean, I remember the last little town hall they had with Anderson. He looked a little. Anderson reminds me of one of these guys in Men in Black. He's got the black suit and tie and a white shirt on, and he kind of has glasses.
Right.
He just reminds me. He may be an alien. He may.
That's a very good possibility that everyone at CNN is an alien.
They got to have to put him out there. But believe me when I tell you, they don't want to, and they're looking for a way to try to diminish this. Jen Psaki says, well, maybe by the end of March. And then I said, well, yeah, why don't you coincide it with opening day for baseball? So both baseball and Biden will have opening day. Okay? But it is, here's something I want you guys to think about before we go to break here. I know the rhythm of your show now. I know a lot of people who voted for Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. A lot of them here on Long Island. Mm-hmm. And I now I'm giving them jazz, all right? I'm going, hey, what do you think about Joe Biden not talking to the press? How about it? Do you like that? Is that good? Hey, what do you think about these 100,000 people coming across the border? Isn't that great? Oh, man, it's so good, isn't it? And they look at me with this dagger, but it always comes back to the same thing. We don't care what he does as long as Trump's not there.
And being a good Catholic, understanding the rhythm method, he has given me a space now to tell you about Aileen. Aileen lives in Kentucky, and she is proud that she is 87 years old. She has a lot of pain all throughout her body. In fact, it was so bad that she was getting to the point where she could barely walk anymore. She didn't do anything about it for a while because she thought, I'm 87. Then she heard me talking about Relief Factor one day, and she decided she's going to give it a try. Other things she had tried before. She said after a few weeks later, guess who was not only walking but dancing to the music? Yes, dancing. It's Aileen. At 87, she says, my pain disappeared completely. Better still, after a while, she went from taking it 3 times a day to just 2 times a day. She got her life back, and so could you. Relief Factor is not a drug, but it was developed by doctors, and it's 70% of the people who try it go on to order more because it works for them. Try the 3-week Quick Start trial pack. If it doesn't work, you are out $20. If it does work, you get your life back, and 70% of the people who try it get their life back. ReliefFactor.com. 800-500-8384. 800-500-8384. It's ReliefFactor.com. 10 seconds. Station ID. Even the Democrats, Bill O'Reilly, have said that there is a little bit of waste in the $1.9 trillion COVID bill. Your thoughts on the bill?
Okay. So you have 2 things in the bill. You have one thing that is good, and that is a relief to people who have been devastated by COVID. And that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. And then you have 75% of the bill that funds progressive causes, and that's not a good thing. But because the Democrats control Congress, there's nothing the Republicans could do about it. So, and this goes back to Georgia. That was one of the worst nights in American history, the night that the 2 far-left Democrats in Georgia won their Senate seats. That was one of the worst things in American history. And everything that you see now that is corrupt, that is harmful, is going to stem back to that night.
It is. It is.
And the people of Georgia should know this. But you know how most people are. They live day to day. Mm-hmm. They're hurting. Now they're going to get money from the government, and they're not going to worry about the other 75% of the bill where their tax dollars go to causes that are in the long run going to hurt them.
I think the average taxpayer, what did this cost? $17,000 for the average taxpayer? Some ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, I mean, $2 trillion is not anything that anybody can conceptualize, and that's another problem.
Yeah.
So they being Congress, spend so much money now, so irresponsibly, and they're not going to stop unless you boot the Democratic Party out of power.
Well, can they do that with H.R. 1 that has already passed the House? H.R. 1, that thing is a constitutional time bomb. If that is signed into law, the Constitution as we know it is over because almost everything in it is unconstitutional.
Yeah, I don't think Manchin's going to go for that. and I think the Republican Party will stay firm as they did in the COVID bill. That was an encouraging sign.
May I play devil's advocate here?
Sure.
If this happens, what the Democrats are going to say is these people are standing against basic voting rights. And listen to me, if the Democrats don't get this passed, then they will use that as the catalyst to, they didn't stand for basic voting rights. So we've got to get rid of the filibuster.
Look, I don't think Manchin is going to vote for it because he said he wouldn't. And no, don't laugh. Don't laugh.
All right, I'll try not.
That soundbite is so prominent that he probably would lose his seat in West Virginia.
Not if HR 1 passes.
West Virginia is a different situation. So anyway, I'm optimistic that this is not going to become law. You're correct. It's unconstitutional because it's clear in the Constitution the states have a right to run the vote the way they see fit. And right now, in many red states, there is legislation, and some of it's passed already, reforming the corrupt election processes. So I'm not going to get panicked about this yet. And it all goes back to the Supreme Court justices appointed by Donald Trump. This will get to the Supreme Court, and we'll get there fast. And there's no way on earth that court is going to okay that bill.
And if they do?
Well, then we're going to move to Ireland, Beck. I got a nice little cottage for you out there in Killarney. You're going to enjoy it.
It is. I said earlier this week that Barack Obama is known as a transformational president for what he did in 8 years. But what Joe Biden has done in 50 days is more transformational than anything Barack Obama did. Do you agree with that?
That's a complicated one, and I know you got music that you got to get to.
Oh my gosh, the rhythm method works.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put that off till next segment.
Okay, and I also want to talk to you about the politicalization of the military and what's happening in the military. It's, I think, a little terrifying what they're starting to do with the military and the Pentagon. We'll talk to Bill O'Reilly, the author of Killing Crazy Horse and the new book he won't send me, Killing the Mob.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
I don't know why. Okay, can I talk about all of the film, all of the photos and everything else that you have? We just organized some of the photos that we have into a legacy box, and we're sending it out. And my wife was like, "Are you sure we're going to get these photos back?" I'm like, yes. They track it. Everything is tracked all the way. They take and they're very careful with everything, and they ship it back. But when they ship all of those photos back and all those films, all those precious memories, they know how precious those things are. They're also sending you, either on DVD or a thumb drive or in the cloud, they're sending you digital copies of everything. It's really an amazing service. Start preserving your past today. Go to legacybox.com/Beck. Get an incredible 50% off your first order. Buy it today and take advantage of this exclusive offer. It's 50% off your first order. Send it in when you're ready. It's legacybox.com/Beck. Save 50% while supplies last at legacybox.com/Beck. It's easy to preserve all of your memories.
And head over to blazetv.com/Glenn. Promo code is Glenn. $10 off your subscription to Blaze TV. We have more with Bill O'Reilly from BillO'Reilly.com next.
This is the Glenn Beck Program. We're glad you're here. We're talking to Bill O'Reilly. It's Friday. Get a recap of what he thinks is the most important. I want to ask his opinion on something that is brand new. I have never seen this. I've seen the government politicized. I've seen all of the branches of the government politicized. Those are political branches except for the Supreme Court, but that has been politicized. Now it's a political body. The one thing that we have trust in, and the one thing that Americans have always had trust in, is our military. And it's essential that we have a military that is trusted and deserves our trust. It's not been politicized until now. The Pentagon has attacked now Tucker Carlson by name. The Pentagon website attacked a Fox cable news host. A senior enlisted leader in the U.S. Space Command attacked Carlson by name. And I've never seen that before. Bill, have you?
It might have happened before in Vietnam era. But what's going on is that what people don't understand about the military is that the top echelon of it is they're appointed people.
Yes.
So the Secretary of Defense, the head of the Joint Chiefs, these are appointed by civilian politicians. So they're all going to do what the left wants them to do at this juncture. Okay? And so when Carlson came out and said, look, it's not efficient to have pregnant women in combat units, which is true, then these people, because they're virtue signalers, politically correct people, right? Right? That's the crew. Oh, you can't do that. Is this an issue that I think is going to erode the capability of the U.S. military? No. It's just a signal that the military, like everything else in this country, is now full of virtue signalers.
Well, it bothers me because the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, has said that there are enemies, I'm quoting, enemies within the military ranks.
Yes.
And they're trying to root out extremists without defining what those enemies or extremists are. And
conservative Trump supporters.
Right.
I'll define it for you.
Right. I know that, but they're not saying that themselves.
Well, why would they ever say that?
Right.
They can't say that.
They also claim that Carlson shouldn't be listened to because he never served in the military. But we have a civilian-run military. It is by design that our civilians can criticize the military.
I don't think Biden served in the military, did he?
Don't think so.
Fast fact check on that?
Yeah, I don't think so. Look that up.
Okay, so
his son did.
If there's a military person saying don't listen to anybody because they didn't serve in the military, that means Biden has to resign as commander in chief, right?
It would. It would.
See, a logical guy like me, I don't take a lot of this seriously because I know what the game is. And I know that military people play the game just like civilian people. It's a huge bureaucracy.
Right, which makes me nervous because they are trying to make the military now into an arm of a political party, I believe.
But it's impossible for them to do that in the rank and file. So traditionally, most military people come from the South, come from military people, come from conservative families. So they're not going to be able to change that culture. You know, here's a good example. The culture on the college campus is changed because now you have a punishing atmosphere on most colleges toward traditional conservative students and teachers. In the military, that's not going to take root, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, but my theme is on BillO'Reilly.com that there's going to be a ferocious backlash against all this PC virtue signaling cancel culture stuff. And that backlash is going to be seen in the midterm election next year, 2022. You're going to see that. Now, people go, oh, the whole election's rigged. Okay, look, this time around, the Republicans made big gains in the House. All right? So, yeah, there are questionable things that happened in the presidential vote, but by and large, I think the folks are going to be able to cast a ballot that's meaningful next year. Now, again, I could be wrong on all of this,